right, good morning and welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I am Funmi Omoburiu. Today on the program, we want to look at roles and relevance of external auditor in corporate governance. Roles and relevance of external auditor in corporate governance. Our guest this morning is Mr. BAMIDELE OSENI, ACIS. He's member Corporate Governance and Capacity Building Committee, ICSAN. Is a trained corporate governance auditor and board evaluator. Mr. OSENI, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Madam Funmi.
All right. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me once again.
All right. And with me in the studio is Mr. Yinka Oguntoyinbo, who is Education Manager, ICSAN. Good morning, Mr. Oguntoyinbo.
Good morning.
All right. We're going to take this message and we'll be right back. To stay with us.
The world is constantly evolving into a knowledge-based economy where skills and competencies constitute the lifeblood of public and corporate governance. You therefore need to empower yourself to fit into this new world by gaining basic knowledge and improving your skill set in the governance-focused disciplines. That is why every aspiring as well as practicing professional in governance field needs ICSAN.
ICSAN. What is ICSAN?
ICSAN is a leading statutorily established professional body dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. ICSAN members are trained as chartered secretaries and administrators.
Who are chartered secretaries and administrators?
Chartered secretaries are high-ranking governance professionals with a broad base of skills, unique amongst other professions. They are trained in law, finance, accounting, administration, strategy development, and corporate governance. In today's world, chartered secretaries and administrators discharge a wide range of duties and responsibilities, including functioning as chairmen of companies, executive directors, non-executive directors, company secretaries, risk managers, compliance managers, board evaluators, and corporate governance evaluators.
That is interesting. How then do I become a chartered secretary and administrator?
Good. Go to the Institute's website, www.icsan.org. You can also visit the National Secretariat of ICSAN at Plot 6, Elephant Cement Way, Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, to get full information on how to become members. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
All right, ICSAN, a hub of governance professionals. Like I said earlier, we're looking at roles and relevance of external auditor in corporate governance. All right, Mr. OSENI, let's look at the roles and function of external auditors. I want you to state them and, of course, expatiate a bit on them.
Okay, thank you so much for me. The external auditor is very critical and crucial in the corporate governance implementation. One of their key rules, as stated by Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018, is that they are expected to provide an independent opinion on the true and fair view of the financial statement of the company and give assurance to the shareholders, not just of the reliability of financial statement, to also make statement on the governance of the company. So which means external auditors are expected to assess the risk in the misstatement of the financial statement, if there's any. They are supposed to assess and ensure the company maintain a complete accounting records, free of errors and omission. They're expected to ensure, while they are performing their audits, that the company comply and is complying with applicable regulations and accounting standards and auditing standards. They are also expected to perform their audits in the same way with the applicable international accounting and audit frameworks. So if you look at it, you see that auditors are a category of people that come into an organization once in a year to identify, confirm whether this accounting system, whether the business is properly being run as agreed and directed by the board of the directors. So they are very crucial in terms of implementing corporate governance in the companies.
All right, great. Let's establish the link between external audit functions and risk management.
Now, in risk management, mainly we have 3 levels. We have the first level of defense, the second level of defense, and the third level of defense. Okay. The risk management team is at the second level of defense. The first level of defense are the risk taker, the business owner. So the external auditor and the internal auditor are on the third line of defense. They are supposed to provide an independent and assurance to the board of directors that the company approved enterprise risk management is being implemented as directed by the board of directors. They also to provide assurance to the board of directors that the company enterprise risk management is adequate, robust, sufficient enough to cope with the organization is facing in discharging the action and mission statement.
All right. Now, how do external auditors ensure the integrity of the financial statements?
Of compliance is a function of compliance with applicable accounting standard. How the auditor will ensure these financial statements have integrity is to ensure that whether in preparing the financial statement, the company has complied with international generally accepted accounting standard, what we call GAAP, the auditing standard, in preparing their financials. They also ensure that the company has complied with various regulation issues by their various regulatory authority. And they also ensure that the accounting system they put in place comply with the requirement of the regulators and the standard. In such a way, they're able to confirm that the financial statement has integrity.
All right. Now, there is what we call true and fair view of financial statements. What's the meaning of this? And let's also look at its relevance in the balance of corporate governance.
Yeah, true and fair view is very simple. What does it say to us in audit? It simply says the accounting statement, the financial statement, which is the balance sheet, the income statement, the statement of cash flow, they are free of error, falsehood, misstatements, and they have been prepared in line with the generally accepted accounting practice and auditing standard. That's what it means. So that means your financial statement is free of error, mistakes, or falsehood, is true and view, factual. However, in the corporate governance palace, where company are supposed to be run in line with the governance code of governance recommended practice. So it is in Nigeria today, we have another set of an auditor who review the code of corporate governance to ensure that apart from the financial statement, the code expected that we all company appoint an auditor to independently look at the code of corporate governance and how it has been implemented, it's apply and explain. So therefore, the auditor, in looking at the code of corporate governance in practice implemented by the companies, we look at how it was applied, the explanation, and the reason given. So they are in the best position to provide a third-party assurance to regulators, to stakeholders, that the company is properly being run in line the way the governance code of corporate practice require and in line with the board of directors of the company.
All right, great. Okay.
Okay, maybe just one more.
Okay, go ahead.
The objective of SCCG was what we call to drive corporate accountability and business prosperity. We want companies to be prospering by following generally accepted accounting practice and to be corporate accountable. Corporate accountable, that was the whole idea. So if the auditor is not there, nobody will be able to hold organization to be accountable from the third party perspective or independent perspective.
All right. Now, there is a provision of the code that the recommendation for the appointment, reappointment, or removal of an external auditor should be made by the committee responsible for audit to the board. Why is this provision important in governance context?
Thank you. External auditors are supposed to be an independent party. They are not supposed to be involved in the running of the business. They are not supposed to be a consultant. They're supposed to be objective. They're supposed to be, they're not supposed to be involved in conflict of interest. So to avoid prejudice, subjectivity, conflict of interest, the code in code 11.43 require that members of the audit committee must not just be appointed by the committee that is due to it. They must be appointed by the committee member who actually know the work they are supposed to do. What do I mean? If you are not financially literate, if you don't have a background in accounting, you are not an auditor, you are not supposed to be involved in who appoints, because somebody can say, 20 million is too much to be an auditor. You don't know what it entails. So that is why they want those who are those who are very objective, those who understand what entails the audit should be people who are saddled with that responsibility. And often, in most cases, there's supposed to be non-executive director and also independent non-executive director, because you don't want subjectivity, you don't want conflict of interest, and you want auditor to do their job when they are properly remunerated.
All right, Mr. OSENI, before I let you go, what advice do you have for firms and corporate entities on the rules of the external auditor?
Very clear. External auditors should discharge their role and responsibility professionally, ethically, in line with applicable auditing and accounting standards. As much as possible, auditors should refrain from being involved in non-audit services as much as possible where they are performing statutory audits. You can do non-audit service somewhere, but nowhere performing statutory audit. Number 3, management should allow the external auditor to independently perform their role without undue influence of a particular profit of a particular balance sheet that must be achieved. External auditors should understand their client business very well. Where not, they should not take the audits. Where they must take the audit, they must employ an expert to be involved. Management should be open, transparent, give their books to the auditors, release as much information that will allow the auditor to provide an independent opinion that is true and real. And that's my advice.
Thank you so much, Mr. BAMIDELE OSENI, ACIS, member, Corporate Governance and Capacity Building Committee. He's a trained corporate governance auditor and board evaluator. Thank you for joining us on Corporate Governance Platform this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Oguntoyinbo, I'm sure we have some announcements. Let's go ahead.
Yes. This is to inform all ICSAN members, registrars, other professionals in governance fields, and members of the public generally that the ICSAN 2024 Company Secretaries and Registrars Forum is scheduled to hold on Thursday, that's tomorrow, April 4th, 2024. The ICSAN Company Secretaries and Registrars Forum is a platform to expose to the contemporary practices and pertinent governance issues trending in the profession. It is a capacity-boosting governance for professionals in governance field, especially the company secretaries and registrars. The theme for this year's forum is the implications of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity for capital market operations. It's going to be an hybrid program, so people can attend virtually and physically. The venue for the physical participation is BWC Hotel, that's at Amadou Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos, and the time is 10 a.m. prompt. The chief host of the program is the president and chairman of the governing council of the institute, Mrs. Funmi Ekundayo, FCIS. The keynote speaker is Mr. Simon Aranom, Executive Director, Large Enterprises Directorate, Bank of Industry. Other speakers are Mrs. Catherine Nwosu, MD CEO, African Prudential PLC, Mr. Francis Olawale, FCIS, MD CEO, Frank Nominees Limited. Then there's an international speaker. His name is Mr. Itenda Metha. He's the Managing Director, Centrum Legal, Gurgaon, India. The targeted audience for the forum are company secretaries, registrar directors, non-executive directors, compliance managers, senior managers, brokers, business promoters, regulatory and professional bodies. The program will attract 5 credit points for participants. For more information concerning the forum, please call Kayode on 080-3214-7720 or Florence on 080-3236-9300. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Inka Ugotoyinbo, Education Manager, ICSAN. And that's how we wrap it up this morning on Corporate Governance Platform, brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. We're back again next week, Wednesday, 10:15 a.m., right in Equator 9.7 FM. I am Funmi Omoburiu. Enjoy the rest of the day.